Hello there, my name's Card. I'm a long-time progressive community organiser and activist. And today I just want to briefly talk about a reactionary dog whistle that's been around for a couple of years now, as well as what it really means, who's using it, and why. For those who might not know, in politics, a dog whistle is a word, a phrase, or a symbol which seems perfectly innocent or innocuous to most people, but which really communicates a more sinister hidden message to those in the know. Additionally, there'll also be a playlist of videos of mine linked at the top of the description, which goes into detail about all sorts of reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them. Today specifically, I want to talk about oblique references to a pregnant Anne Frank, what they mean, and how they've become a contemporary reactionary meme and signal, particularly in online spaces. Long story short, around mid-2018, on 4chan's history board, it was particularly popular to write alternate history stories describing what might have happened following the US Civil War had the Confederate South won. A common theme of a lot of these stories was what might have happened had the Confederate States of America made it to the 20th century and fought in the Second World War. Bizarrely enough, a concept that became a meme of sorts among the people writing these alternate history stories was the idea that a Confederate America would invade Nazi-occupied Europe and liberate, among others, Anne Frank, the famous Jewish Holocaust victim diarist. Stranger still, many of these 4chan posters would go on to write up long screeds wherein they imagine Frank subsequently marrying and then being impregnated by a Confederate Second World War soldier. This went on and on until people were eventually posting drawn artwork of a pregnant Anne Frank and her Confederate soldier husband all over the website. For a while, any and all historical discussion at all would turn into these alt-history fantasies about Anne Frank, and it got to the point where 4chaners felt emboldened enough to start posting this sort of stuff on more mainstream sites like Twitter and Facebook, where now posting it would serve as something of a way to identify yourself as a 4chan user, since most normal people would find this all really strange and off-putting. The point isn't that the pregnant Anne Frank alternate history thing is overtly offensive in the same way most bigotry is, although it is certainly a product of bad taste. But the pregnant Anne Frank signifier serves to be something of an obtuse reference that only people aware of the online backstory surrounding all this will make in order to signal their knowledge of old 4chan memes to one another. And people who reference old 4chan memes and content like this are more often than not people familiar with, and typically sympathetic to, the alt-right worldview. Someone making a reference to a pregnant Anne Frank who has been rescued by Confederate soldiers is signalling their deep familiarity with terms and jokes only held onto by the image board websites most commonly used by the online far right. So, for the sake of keeping yourself and your spaces safe, just keep it in mind. It's always good to be able to recognize alt-right messaging and signaling like this, so you can spot it, denounce it, explain what it is and why it's bad to others, and remove the people posting this sort of stuff. That's all I have to say today. I hope it helps. Once again, my name's Card. If you might want to hear more from me, especially more about emerging or obscure reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page, or just take a look at my other videos. Either way, goodbye for now, and stay safe out there.